Hello, Chucky fans and my subscribers. Today or tonight, whenever you're watching this, I am filming this at 10:07 p.m. This is the 5th episode review. We're finally on the 5th episode. We got 3 more episodes to go, and then we'll be done with the season, and probably be a 3rd season or a movie after this one. But let's see. Basically, I'm just gonna jump right into it. Spoilers are ahead. You guys already know this. Don't care. Great. You do. Won't be mad. Okay, let's go. Honestly, I still like episode 4. That will be my first favorite episode of the season, no matter what. Honestly, it's getting better. I thought I was gonna go down a hill because I actually, not meaning to, I saw a somewhat short scene of the Chucky brawl, and I thought it was gonna go downhill after people watch the Chucky community watch this episode. When actually, I really enjoyed it. After watching episode 4 and going directly right into episode 5, I enjoyed it. Not as much as I did with episode 4, but episode 5 would be like my second favorite episode of Chucky season 2. I loved how we basically went back to Glenn / Glenda or whatever. Well, not really whatever, but them / they. Well, Glenn. It's more of Glenn, because Glenn has the long hair, and even though they both like to go by them / they, it's more of Glenn that has the long hair, and Glenda has short hair, but we really don't get to see Glenda, Kyle in this episode. Not really, but I'm okay with that because you get Glenn, Tiffany, bits and pieces throughout this episode, and I really love those scenes. Like, basically we get to see Glenn coming in to the after waking up from a bad dream that he / she had about that night at the NOC to Chucky. Basically, Glenn setting Jennifer Tilly's assistant on fire, and basically remembering dressing up like a girl in the doll's body, and then woke up, basically going to the living rooms, tries to drill her mom into confessing, okay, who's Nika Pierce really? Why did you cut off all her limbs? And who was Tiffany Valentine? And basically at this point, as she actually does later on in the episode confirm, just say, fuck it, just call me Tiffany. I am fucking Tiffany Valentine. But at that moment, Jennifer Tilly uh, said that uh, Nika is my girlfriend. If you really must know, um, I'm not gonna talk about. I'm not. And and apparently throughout this whole damn season, she's been watching the same movie over and over and over. Liar Liar, I think is the movie called, with Jim Carrey in it. But Glenn kept interrupting. And Tiffany is like, well, Jennifer said, well, I'm not gonna say any more things until you tell me where you took Nika, my girlfriend. And she's like, nothing, no, okay, bye. And then but before we saw that scene, we first get back into basically buff Chucky and good Chucky, sweet Chucky. Yeah, I thought it was cheesy when I first saw it, but I'm like actually watching the whole scene in the episode. I'm like, you know what? It's actually not bad. The whole fight between good Chucky and buff Chucky, honestly, I was wrong when I first saw that. I'm like, buff Chucky's gonna beat him up. He's gonna rip him apart like piece of paper. No, good Chucky actually won. I was actually shocked. I'm like, oh, good Chucky survived. He won. In a way, yay! Because in a way, to me, it's Chucky. So, I was still excited that basically good Chucky won. I thought it was kind of funny because he's like, I found a new new motive in life, and he holds up the Bible, and I'm like, I'm like, not trying to mean, I'm done with the Bible bullshit. I don't mind faith here and there. I don't mind faith in certain things. I don't mind religion getting thrown in the mix of most issues. But seriously, we heard it so much throughout the season where it's like, can we fucking take a break? Like, seriously. But it was still funny how Chucky holds up the Bible, and Buff Chucky's like, oh, that shit's bullshit, and I also loved how sweet innocent Chucky basically kind of win the match by throwing Buff Chucky's knives at Buff Chucky because the way how Buff Chucky lost the fight is basically one knife landed on one side and landed in the middle of his hand, and then and he was standing up. Well, not standing up, but basically hanging on the wall like a cross. And I'm like, how poetic, really, truly. But and then we see how Jake is really connected, really close to Sweet Chucky. Is that basically, okay, I am really torn on this bullshit that basically Jake, okay, let's get something off here. Jake, he didn't just lose his dad. No. He lost his aunt. He also lost his uncle. He also lost his cousin. And then that wasn't just enough. So once he got adopted, he had an adopted brother. So Chucky also took his adopted brother. So of course he's gonna break down. Of course he's gonna shut down. Of course he's not gonna be all lovey-dovey. I'm like, you gotta respect that bullshit. I mean, shit. And it's like, what did Devin expect? Oh, we're just gonna come out of this we're gonna come out of this issue from the first season, no matter what, with a positive attitude, and be all lovey-dovey-dovey. No. No. You're gonna have your fucking problems. By going through emotional state of actually losing everybody you actually cared about that was in your life the whole damn time. Well, okay, except your adopted brother, but to a certain point of view, it still counted. And it breaks you. It really breaks you. And okay, yeah, Devin lost his mom. I will admit that, but he just lost his mom. That's it. Lexi, she lost two people. Two. Her dad and her boyfriend, which was Jake's cousin. But other than that, what do they got to expect? I mean, shit. Lexi didn't step up to Devin and say, oh yeah, just because Jake is being all lovey-dovey to a good guy doll, that's apparently good, actually good now. Yeah, I'm doing drugs. No, she didn't throw that out in the mix. No, she's just allowing Devin to freaking be completely mad at Jake at the moment. I'm like, what a fucking bitch. But in a way, I'm like, okay. But it's like, that's what Jake and Jake, okay. I do see Devin's point. He wants to be with Jake. He actually wants to get the fuck out of there and stand the hell up and say, hey, we're just gonna leave. Because you see him later on in the church room, basically ripping up a Bible that nice father basically kind of threw at Devin and say, read the certain page and I'll be back. I'm like, okay. Scene later, you see him rip up a few pages out of the Bible, and I'm like, and throw the Bible, and the Bible hits a cross, which was the same Bible Chucky had in his hands. But it's just, I don't know. I just really have mixed feelings on that issue between all three of them. And then including, you got the newest member of the group, which, okay, yeah, she's helping Lexi at the moment. Devin is seeing more of her, even though, yeah, she's helping Lexi throughout her problems. But Devin is seeing more of an issue coming from her, because Devin is seeing more of, okay, she's not helping the issue with my boyfriend being so connected with this good guy doll that's basically a good Chucky when he's basically still Chucky. Because she's all lovey-dovey to good Chucky as well. So, and good Chucky really wants to be good. You actually see Chucky say out of his doll mouth that he really wants to be good. He really wants to be free from all that pain and how he's afraid to go back to being bad again. So Jake and the new member of the group, she decided, okay, let's baptize good Chucky, sweet Chucky, and he'll be freed from all his sins, from all Charles Lee Ray sins, and he will finally be good Chucky from now on. Completely good Chucky, not thinking about any bad thoughts. So, basically, that's all what happened. Well, not really. And then, father, bring back in the therapist, which obviously the therapist has really, really a big character in season 2, which it got basically, because in the first episode, she gives Lexi's little sister, the wedding doll that Tiffany gives to Chucky before she gets her soul stuck in it and remobilize it. And it just started to make me think, okay, can she still be trustable? She comes back in this episode, she agrees with the father. I'm like, okay, out of all the nuns that was there, I agreed. I was loving how much kahunas the black nun was like. This is art. These are kids crying out. She's like, are you fucking kidding me? These kids need actual actually need you to sit right by them and need your guidance and actually need someone to talk to, not somebody that to just throw them a Bible and say, read this page and hopefully you learn your lesson once you read it back to me. No, and I could see him really getting pissed about it because it's actually true, and that's all he's doing. And he's not really being a good priest. He's not being a really good father type priest. The therapist was getting really pissed because obviously at that moment on, you could tell she was pissed that Buff Chucky basically failed, and basically that she's on Chucky's side already. You can basically point that out. And the other nun, are you freaking kidding me? Once she sees Buff Chucky making the garbage can move, because the second nun basically threw him away, and once he's like moving the garbage can and gets out of it, she's like, after basically letting go of her cross, she's like, Father, I know you were in that doll the whole time. I praise you. And he's like, I have risen, and it didn't take me 3 days. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Okay, the 3 days part, that's understandable. Chucky's point of view, I understand, but the nun, Father, I'm like, that's not God. That's not Jesus. That's a evil spirit possess a doll. I'm like, that's not right. I'm like, no. And then Lexi and Devin runs out of the church-type school prison, finds a cabin that's surrounded by ripped up Chucky legs, arms, and then sees sticks, really large sticks. Something that you would find out in basically a voodoo site, and it has Chucky heads basically pushed, the stick stabbed through Chucky's head and mounted onto the ground, and it leads to a cabin out in the middle of nowhere that the therapist that we saw from season 1 and the first episode of season 2 and a little bit in the beginning of this episode basically has Andy captured, prisoned, hiding the rest of the dead bodies that Chucky killed, and protecting the real Chucky doll at this point right now, I really don't know anymore which Chucky doll is the real Chucky doll, because honestly there's so many of them that he produces his soul into. It's like, okay, which one's the real Chucky? But protecting the Chucky doll, the actual Chucky doll that's actually got the name Colonel. Not Colonel Sanders from the chicken restaurant, just a Colonel. And, which, okay, once you see that Chucky, the Colonel Chucky, which I thought was Buff Chucky when it really wasn't. When Buff Chucky wasn't the Colonel, and basically this Chucky that basically reminds me the whole the head mafia leader, because he's like, which is Bald Chucky. It basically, Bald Chucky looks like he's wearing a tux, talking like the mafia leader, and it's like, why not call him the mafia? The mafia leader. Why call him the Colonel? I would have called Buff Chucky the Colonel. Not Bald Chucky. I mean, if he's gonna talk like the mafia leader, and then he's gonna act like the mafia leader, call him the mafia leader. And you see Bald Chucky cutting up Andy. I think it's his legs, which fuck, that give me pain throughout my body. Which I felt really bad. And then, basically, somewhere around between, as you following the new group that we left off of season 1, we go back to, Jennifer Tilly's sister, which is her actual sister in real life, though, but, and Glenn, and which, apparently she's staying at the house for a little while. The sister and, Jennifer's sister asked, basically, Tiffany, so, do you remember this time? And Tiffany is like, I'll be right back. And she runs, basically, to this locked room. Basically looks like an attic. And you see this big, huge bird cage that's covered. And she basically throws that blanket off the big bird cage, and you see the doll that we last see in Pseudo Chucky that got the axe, and basically you see that doll moving and talking, and you actually realize, oh shit, it's the real Jennifer Tilly stuck in that doll body. So basically she did survive. So by by that scene where you see that doll, basically that's Jennifer Tilly telling Glenn / Glenda, don't be like your father, and don't be like your mom, and especially don't be like your father. I'm taking it that was Jennifer Tilly, and I thought basically she died because it looked like but also, so it must have took her this amount of time to actually get control of the doll body herself. So and then at which Tiffany asked doll Jennifer, okay, what happened in this situation? What happened here about what just happened in this story, that Jennifer's sister brought up Jennifer basically threw off Tiffany, and Tiffany went back and said, you know, now I remember this happened, and Jennifer's sister said, no, that was in a movie. Basically what, she explained, what was in a movie, and she's like, and Tiffany was like, hold on, and once she hauled ass back up to that attic, you see Glenn look at Jennifer's sister, and Jennifer's sister looks at Glenn, and you see Glenn basically chugging a big glass of wine, and said, yeah, let's follow her. They followed Tiffany up to the same attic, and seeing Tiffany yelling through a birdcage at a doll. And they hear that doll talking back, and basically the cat's out of the bag. Jennifer's sister sees that Jennifer's stuck in the doll body, kind of freaks out and shocked. Tiffany basically kills Jennifer's sister, her real sister, which honestly I wonder if there was actual point while they're growing up she actually wanted to kill her sister, and hey, dream came true. But anyway, and Glenn's like, Mom, how could you? And you hear Tiffany says, I'm not Jennifer. I'm fucking Tiffany Valentine. And I am your fucking mother. And don't give me that fucking time. And you hear Jennifer's like, how could you? You kill my sister, you bitch. I'm gonna fucking kill you. You fucking monster. And you see Glenn just having a freaking asthma attack. Tiffany's like, hang on, darling. And she's like, she tells Jennifer, if you don't shut up, I'm gonna make sure you starve to death. And where you won't have no more chocolate. And Jennifer's like, and just shuts up, and Tiffany just throws the blanket back over the bird's cage, and she's like, okay. And she's like, so, everything you said is true. And she's like, sadly, I try to be somebody I'm not. I always wanted to be Jennifer Tilly, and I wasn't good being an actress, being Jennifer Tilly, and I tried the best I could to raise you children, and I wasn't the best of a mother on the side of being a good wife. And she's like, there's one more birthday present I have to give you. And Glenn is like, what's that? And she's like, and she goes and gets it. Glenn kind of looks over at the dead body and went like that. Kind of chilled throughout the body. Him/her's body. And Tiffany gives Glenn the box and said, this always belonged to you. Glenn opens up the box and pulls out, which say, since Trick or Treat Studios is doing the dolls for this show, basically, I wouldn't be shocked if if Don Mancini basically pre-ordered so many freaking Glenn dolls, or just one, because this Glenn doll that they use looks exactly like the prop replica Glenn doll that Trick or Treat Studios just released last year, I want to say. So yeah. And Glenn said, "Holy shit! It's completely true. Does my other half know? Where's my other half's doll?" And Tiffany's like, "You're looking at it. You guys shared a body." And Glenn's like, "My other half has to see this." And Tiffany's like, "I'll go drive you." And basically, while they're driving away, you see Tiffany basically pouring gasoline, burning the beautiful house. I was pissed. I'm like, that was a beautiful house that you could put up for sale. Actually get money off of it. But instead you're burning it. I'm like, I get it. There's dead bodies inside, but shit. And basically you see doll Jennifer Tilly tied up in a straitjacket, just trying to sit there all calm as hell. Kind of looked over for a minute, look at the Glenn doll, and you see Glenn trying to be calm, not trying to freak out and crying, not trying to cry. And you see Tiffany just driving with their sunglasses on, almost dark out, and basically kind of looks like she's desperate for a glass of wine and a cigarette. But other than all, and basically also, while we were around the duo from the new duo that basically was introduced in the first season, Devin also brought up basically reference I want to say a horror movie, because that'll be the only reason why Devin would bring it up. I haven't seen it. I think I heard that the movie was really good, and it is a movie needed to see. But it was Devin said the 16th chapel, if I'm saying that right. He referenced that by the movie's name, the 16th chapel. So yeah, there was that. So comment down below, what was your favorite thing about this episode? What are you guys even more excited to see happen in this episode? Basically comment anything about Chucky. What's your favorite comment? What's your favorite kill? What's your favorite line of Chucky? Basically, as I meant to say, instead of comment, quote. Basically, what's your favorite Chucky quote? What's your favorite Chucky kill, line, look, movie, whatever. Anything about Chucky, just comment it down below. Don't forget to hit that like button, and if you're new here on my channel, also please don't forget to hit that follow button if you're new here. If you're not, and if you're already a subscriber, that's great. Thank you for subscribing. And once again, thank you for the 110 subscribers. Thank you. Have a nice day or night whenever you're watching us. Peace.